All right, smart people. Good morning to you. Good morning. Uh, I have come on live today uh, to talk about these Cowboys, man. Our Cowboys. Okay, listen, man. A lot of news. First of all, thank you for viewing, watching the channel, um, and also thank you for the likes and also the subscriptions as well. I really appreciate you guys. Sharing is caring, and please share the content as well. Just comment, leave your comments, whether good or bad, and different. Um, Here to grow the channel, trying to get it to grow, trying to get it to get to the next level. So, really appreciate that. Let's get to this thing. The Dallas Cowboys. I started to put on a Looney Tunes shirt. The Dallas Cowboys, man, they've done absolutely nothing, but they have done some things. Um, most of which we expect. So let's dive into it. Dak Prescott. Um, this is an old story. This is an old claim um, that had taken place 7 years ago or so, and he is on the. He's trending. This happened about 7 hours ago, so um, he is trending, and the story, in a nutshell, is there had been or was allegedly, okay, through by reports that Dak Prescott had a this was a sexual um, um, this is called for all intents and purposes. It was a sexual um, uh, I kind of want to be correct with it. And anyway, this was a sexual situation with Dak Prescott. And as much as I love Dak, everyone knows that for the most part, um, is not, and let's just say the timing of it. We don't know if it's true. Um, that remains to be the same, but it appears that she is trying to extort money from Dak Prescott over this fabrication um, that she has put out there about our quarterback. Um, as it relates to football, free agency, draft coming up, look, man, um, the storylines that keep coming up with the Dallas Cowboys keeps rearing its head um, in the opposite direction. Instead of us talking about how we're getting this team better, we're now starting to dwindle back into those days of the Dallas Cowboys where we had the Michael Irvin in the drug situation. We had the Eric Williams situation. It's starting to, we were starting talking more about these things than we actually are talking about uh, what's happening with our team reaching a Super Bowl. Now, let's listen to a pro football talk right quick, man. This is starting to get crazy. A lot of this you're not going to like, but a lot of it is going to be, you know, on point. So it's,
and all in means whatever you want it to mean. It can mean whatever you say it means. It's one of the benefits of being a multi-billionaire that owns the team. You can say whatever you want. And Chris, I keep coming back to this point. I know we don't have a lot of time to break it down now. I'm becoming more and more convinced he really doesn't care about winning. He cares about keeping the Cowboys as relevant as possible, having people like us talk about the team, having ESPN all the time, Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. Far more amazing than winning the Super Bowl in any one year is the fact that they remain the most popular and talked about, loved and hated team in the NFL when they haven't done jack diddly squat for 30 years. They haven't gotten to an NFC championship since 1995, and they are still America's team. That's what Jerry's selling, and we are eating it up like candy.
I hear you there. I hear you. Now, listen, the irrelevancy, business, all that for real, certainly. You know, they're all about that. We know that. And I think that's a lot of the times, yeah, a little bit of the downfall of the team. Right? I mean, it's constantly the traveling road show. I'm going to make comments. I'm going to put this guy on notice. I'm going to say something that's going to be a distraction in the locker room, but I'm the owner and I want to have a press conference. All that goes on, sure. But Jerry Jones is, he wants to win a damn Super Bowl. He does. He wants him some glory hole. He wants him to show that, hey, I don't need Jimmy Johnson or anybody else. I can win the damn Super Bowl doing it the way I want to do it. And he's put some teams out there that were worthy of that, right? I mean, they just have gotten upset in the divisional rounds where, you know, whether that's 2014, the Des Bryant catch, losing to the Giants in 2007, right? There's the 2016 Aaron Rodgers on the left sidelines, one of the most incredible throws in the history of football. So they've been a little unlucky that way, right? But this is a big year. There's no doubt about it. And it's going to be what is all in. That's what I want to see what Jerry Jones means by that. And we know there's some holes in that roster that got to get filled, let alone they got a quarterback situation they got to figure out as far as that money's concerned. And then they'll have to be able to fill the holes in appropriately after that.
All I know is this, the first 29 Super Bowls, roughly 15 or 16, I believe, of those games, the Cowboys played in the game to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
29 Super Bowls since then. 0. First 30, it was 16. Next 28, 0. It's
pretty
almost 30 and 30. We'll see if they can keep it going. And they still continue to be America's team. Here is. Do we have Jerry? This is Dak. This is both of them. Jack and Derry, or Derry and Jack, on the All-In comments. First Jerry on Dak, and then Dak on the All-In comments. I'll get there eventually. Here it is.
I do with that, maybe. Didn't necessarily touch or pinpoint exactly what's taking place with Dak Prescott for the most part, but he did cover some very, very good points as relates to how most of us feel about this 30-year drought that the Dallas Cowboys have been. We talking about 30 years, man. 30 years. 30. That the Dallas Cowboys last went to a Super Bowl. 30 years. Jerry, your way is not working. Let's just call it what it is. Your way isn't working. Something has to be overturned, overhauled, something. I'm not saying blow up the ship. I'm not saying blow every strategy, every piece that we have. I'm not saying blow it up, but something got to be done. Something has to be done. Getting back to this Dak Prescott situation, it's another distraction. This is what I'm calling it. It's another distraction. And like I said, albeit I love my quarterback, but the timing, we're talking about the timing of it is very, very, it's pivotal. The timing of Jerry Jones's situation with the young lady claiming to be his daughter and the maternity test and all this stuff. It's the timing of it that causes a distraction from the overall intent or goal. Now you're trying to get players to come work for you, but then you have players probably looking as well as his fans and everyone else is looking at the Dallas Cowboys and saying that, man, they got a circus over there. Do I really want to be involved with a circus? I mean, they got a lot going on. This is like a man that is interested in a lady, and but the guy has a lot of baggage. He has a lot of issues. I mean, and most of the time the lady is not going to be willing to deal with anybody's drama, anybody's baggage, anybody's circumstances that may compromise her state of being. Because she, in her world, it's a perfect world. It's a peaceful world. So she's going to interrupt her peace to bring in some baggage, some drama, some negativity. This is what the Cowboys got to look at, and this is what players may be looking at. And we even talking about players in the draft that really want to pursue the Cowboys. Do they want to come to camp? Do they want to be bothered with all the fiasco that's going on here at the Dallas Cowboys? So, but here we are, another issue that we have to deal with Dak Prescott. This is not an over and over and over circumstance of Dak Prescott that we're always dealing with issues with Dak. No, but it's just one of those situations that it happens. It happened now. It's going on now, where the Cowboys haven't made not one move in free agency. The Cowboys are maybe like $1 million or $2 million over the salary cap. That's not much wiggle room to get players in to try to make a push to the Super Bowl. They are doing what they always have done in free agency, which is not pick anybody up, doing the free agent frenzy, moving into the draft. What are they leaving? They're leaving everybody in speculation and gasping and guessing what exactly are the Cowboys going to do in the draft. What can they do? You can get players, but can you pay them? And that seems to be the issue that the Dallas Cowboys face time and time again. And in the real world, we call that mismanagement of money. And so this is what we face with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, finally, and last, let's put this bed to rest. Put this to bed. Okay, it says in January. This happened in January. This was filed in January. In January, a lawyer sent a letter to the Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott, seeking settlement of a potential claim for sexual assault. Sexual assault. Now, we all know how Dak feels about sexual assault. He's always campaigning against it, and whoever does it need to be punished to the full extent. So it says today Prescott turned the tables, suing the alleged victim and her lawyers for extortion. So she's trying to get money out of Dak Prescott. She says that she has evidence. She says she doesn't want to ruin his life or put information out there allegedly fabricating. She doesn't want to do it, but she will if she does not get the $1 million that she is seeking. That in all ways looked upon is extortion. So this is going to get ugly. This is another situation. We just dealt with Michael Irvin and his situation, albeit Michael Irvin won. We're now dealing with Dak Prescott, and we just finished hearing news a week or two ago about Jerry Wayne Jones. What is happening in Dallas? All of this is nothing but distraction. It's distraction. And you wonder whether the stories that are coming out of Dallas with a lot of the players formerly ever here were what they're saying, what they have been saying. Is there is any validity to it? it's like a circus in Dallas. Everybody is um, hands on with you, whether it's the media, whether it's fans, um, spies, or whatever the case may be. They all hands on, working out. Hearing reports, they're working out. It's like you're a lion in a cage, and you've been observed by so many people while you're working out. I mean, are these stories correct? I mean, it appears to be, but hey, man, put your big boy pants on and go play football. At the end of the day, it's a mindset. As for me, you go to a Gold's Gym, you go to a Planet Fitness, you go to all of these gyms where a lot of people are there standing around watching you work out and things of that nature. Hey, man up and just do your routine and then get out. Be that I don't mind somebody marveling with my craft in terms of what I do. Yeah, you may not want somebody in your face 24/10. One day you might not feel like it, but at the end of the day, that's what you signed up for. Let's move on now. Here's another dilemma that the Dallas Cowboys have. Free agency. And we know the Dallas Cowboys from over 30 years have essentially done absolutely positively nothing in the play. I mean, in free agency. Well, in the playoffs too. Nothing. We can put that in there. Put that in the cup too. Let's put that in the cup. That in there. We got playoffs. Nothing. We got free agency. Nothing. Anything else you want to put inside of there? We can upload it. Oh yeah, Super Bowls. Yeah, put that in there too. Super Bowls. Nothing. Playoffs. Nothing. Free agency. Nothing. So it's like you went down the alphabet, starting with F. Free agency. Well, if you get some good free agents in here that's going to help you to win, then chances are you'll be successful from F to Super Bowl. And then you can go to the W if you've done well getting to the Super Bowl and you're now the favorites to win this thing. Now you can go to W, which is win. So it all works together, it seems like to me. But the free agency, we have some names. You have like 16 players. 16 players that are looking at free agency. 16. Starting with Dorrance Armstrong, who is now a Washington Commander. Tyler Biadasz, who is also now a Commander. Rico Dowdle is up. Chuma Dogger is up. Dante Fowler is up. Neville Gallimore is up. Stephon Gilmore is up. We'll put an asterisk around Stephon Gilmore. CJ Goodwin, Jonathan Hankins, asterisk around Jonathan Hankins. Noah, Jayron Kearse. I'm not bent on Jayron Kearse coming back. Because the Cowboys have had issues with him before in terms of signing, and then his productivity on the football field is not Super Bowl caliber. It's not Super Bowl caliber. Missed assignments all over the football field, not taking it serious. It goes on and on and on about Jayron Kearse. We'll see. I don't foresee Jayron Kearse coming back because he was very lenient. He was leery of coming back the last time. Jordan Lewis, not so. Although we need him. We can use him in terms of plug-in players. We can use him in situational football. So I would like to have Jordan Lewis come back. Sean McKeon, Tony Pollard is over at Tennessee. Signed with Tennessee. I think he got like 30 something million or something like that. Or whatever. Trent Sage and Tyron Smith is definitely going to be out the door because of injuries and him being wrong with the tooth. So I put asterisks around Stephon Gilmore because Stephon Gilmore did a hell of a job for the Dallas Cowboys. And we can use Stephon Gilmore opposite side of Diggs. I do not trust Bland. Bland just happened to have a fluke year this year. I'm not going to trust them because when you really need somebody to step up, you need that dog like a Stephon Gilmore that's going to impose his will because of his experience to shut down wide receivers when we really need him to. I can't think of the last game that we played where he was tested. I'm not sure if it was the Eagles. I'm not sure. But whoever it was called him an old man. And he didn't take kindness to that at all. He shut him down the whole game. So we need him. We need that dog to step up. And we want these wide receivers to talk more trash to our cornerbacks, especially Stephon Gilmore. So don't look for Stephon Gilmore to go anywhere. This is just formality. He's not going anywhere. We want to keep him around. We want to have Diggs healthy. And hopefully Diggs learned something while he was injured and he watched the Dallas Cowboys play. Hopefully he learned something on defense that he can chew on and like, you know what, I can use a little bit of that. Because knowledge is everything. You know, I'm not throwing shade at Stephon Gilbert or at Stephon Gilbert or Trayvon Diggs. But the only thing I will say about Trayvon Diggs is that he needs to have his tackling numbers go up. Remember, we're not talking about bumping receivers and they still running. We're talking about tackling and wrapping up. You want your numbers to go up. You know, get off the bump and run because that's all they're doing against you is bumping and running. But there's no knock on Trayvon Diggs. We need him, especially his ball hawk mentality, the eye for the ball. We need that in Trayvon Diggs. That's 16 players. I'm looking for the Cowboys to get some really good players out of this and to keep them. Tyler Biadasz, I really wasn't feeling him that much because of his lackadaisical, his skill set. He lost some things when he came into the league for the Dallas Cowboys. He lost some things greatly. And hopefully they'll go after this kid in Oregon. Like Jackson Powers Johnson. I hope that they go after that kid because he has all the tangibles that you need to play the position at center to take this thing to another level with our offense. And we need players who can play at a cohesiveness, at a unit, like a unit, impenetrable unit. But nonetheless, I think Dallas is going to look for the draft. I think they're going to pull some pieces out of the draft. And now let's understand something. Although they may not sign a lot of these players, that's on free agent. Maybe they'll bring them back. Some of them may appear on the practice squad. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I'm not pushing the panic button just yet. I just want some of this negativity around the Cowboys to come to a cease. I want a lot of that to stop because we have a bigger focus from what this disappointment was and going all in, whatever that means. We're going to find out in just a moment. But I will say that the Cowboys, in terms of the direction that we're headed in, I'm not certain about it. I'm not certain about it, but I'm optimistic. Yeah, I mean, you got to be that. It's Jerry Jones. You have to be optimistic about whatever he's going to do. Um, he is not methodical at all. He's not. Um, I think Jerry Jones just says things for clickbait. He just says things to keep people intrigued, to keep people in suspense about whatever is twirling around in his mind, whatever cobwebs may be caught up or whatever. I don't know. I think he just says things just to get and arouse a lot of people to keep the focus on the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is going to do something this time. They're really going to do something. Jerry said it. He says he's all in. He said it. It remains to be seen. Let's see what Jerry Jones talked about. Here we go.
I've got my mind all in as far as we're going to do everything that we can do to have this year be as successful as it can be. And one of the reasons I feel good about it is because Dak is for sure our quarterback.
I can't say I've had talks with him about what he's all in and how he plan on making his moves. So, but yeah, let's see. I'm excited for him.
That wasn't the full. That wasn't the full Dak Prescott. That wasn't the full Dak Prescott interview. You heard the full Dak Prescott interview, you would die laughing, because Dak was trying to put together a methodical response to the question that he was asked. But Dak Prescott, he chuckled himself about what exactly he thought Jerry Jones meant. And it was funny. It was funny because you never really get that response out of Dak Prescott. But Dak's facial expression, his response told the story as it relates to what Jerry Jones was trying to say. He's all in. Listen, after every major defeat in the season, in every playoffs that the Dallas Cowboys has had or has been in for over 30 years, Jerry Jones, if you go back through, I wish somebody could go back and find every clickbait, every statement that Jerry Jones made right after losing in the playoffs and put that in a name or in a frame so that people can really see his consistency about keeping the Cowboys relevant. It is more about keeping the Cowboys relevant than it is about actually winning a Super Bowl, having a full successful year. Look at how many times that he said that Jason Garrett is our coach. We're not firing Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett is our coach. Look at that. Look at it. And Bill Parcells had 3 years on this contract. Bill said, "Man, I can't do that with you, man. It's over. It's over." So now in comes Mike McCarthy, and he's now 3 years in, and same old Jerry, same thing as last year. Mike McCarthy is that guy. Mike is not going anywhere. Mike is not going anywhere. Mike is going to be here. It's fine. It's okay, cool. He didn't lie about that. But the statements that came after that last year was symbolic of this year. Symbolic of this year. We got to get better. We got to do better. It's a lot to unravel with what Dallas is doing. Let's just say what Dallas is not doing, because they are not. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Nothing at all is the Cowboys doing. Let's see what else Mike has to say. Mike is not saying a whole lot, but let's see what he has to say.
I don't know what the hell all in means. I mean, Mike, and I just think that you got to placate the players, you got to placate the fans, you got to keep people talking about the Cowboys. Here's what all in is going to be. All in is going to be whatever they do, and once they do whatever they do, Jerry's going to say that's what I meant by all in. He can say whatever he wants, and he does say whatever he wants. And again, benefits of being the king of the Dallas Cowboys, as he's been for 35 years now. So it's going to be like every other year. We're going to talk about the Cowboys. They're going to make their moves. But, Chris, at the end of the day, are they really going to be one of the best teams in the conference? They'll be on the fringes of one of the best teams, but they won't be one of the best teams. And then the question becomes next year, who will be the coach moving forward?
All right.
Jerry Jones.
So, in a nutshell, it's pretty much what I just said. And I didn't listen to this whole thing, but it's pretty much what I said. Jerry Jones and the Joneses are not in a hurry to put the Cowboys in a position to win. And with that, and for the love of me, I don't understand how you are the richest franchise in the NFL, and in arguably the richest franchise in sports, but you are always over the salary cap. I don't get it. I really don't get how you are the richest franchise in sports, but you're always over. Every year, the Dallas Cowboys have to get under the salary cap every single year. Now, to me, that seems like it is a mismanagement of money. Somewhere along the line, you're mismanaging something in order for you to be in said situations year after year after year. One year, the Commanders and the Cowboys were like they were shaking hands in terms of being over the salary cap. What's happening? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? You just don't know. You just don't know. A lot is going on here. There are 3 running backs out here. That I think Aaron is. Aaron is leaning towards the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings. But there are 3 running backs that the Cowboys can steal if they choose to do it. I don't know what they are looking for in terms of pulling the trigger, but it is obvious that Philadelphia and Washington are making some crazy moves to be relevant come this year. Philly arguably has the best free agency of the year, in my opinion, from the moves that they have made, the acquirements that they have done. I'm not a Philly fan whatsoever, but you got to respect what people do, what teams do in order to be relevant, in order to make their team strong. They're doing it. Now, although I like Saquon Barkley, I'm not afraid of Saquon Barkley. I mean, the Cowboys have Saquon Barkley. It's not about the team. It's about how the players play you, what they see in you. They know you are a dominant player, and then they're going to take away your strengths, and they're going to exploit your weaknesses. And Dallas do a very, very good job with Saquon Barkley to that degree. Running backs for Philadelphia as it relates to Dallas Cowboys. Defenses of the past have not done great, and that includes shadiest McCoys. Okay, so in that aspect, I'm not quaking in my boots like some people may be. But again, at least they're making moves. They're making moves, and you can't argue with that. But again, 3 running backs that's in the free agent market that the Dallas Cowboys can acquire. One is Joe Mixon, the other one is Derrick Henry. and the other one I believe is Aaron Jones. Um, these three guys, the Dallas Cowboys, um, can get a steal. Now I like Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is nice, but again, here's the thing, which a lot of people don't consider, and I do. I don't mind Aaron, um, primarily because Aaron is an NFC running back. He's an NFC running back, which means he's very familiar with the NFC East. And then you have a West Coast, the two West Coast running backs. Um, to me, it matters going down the stretch in terms of who you're playing against, because it's just a style. It's just a style that the NFC running backs have in the course of the year. It's just a style that they have that is not matched. It's not duplicated when you're looking at running backs. Most AFC running backs, man, they are in between the tackles. They're tough yard backs, and they're not really known except for Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson was whew, boy was like that. He can do whatever. Chris Johnson can do whatever. But when you're looking at great backs, that's NFC all day long. Roger Craig, um, Walter Payton, um, Gale Sayers, um, Tony Dorsett, of course, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, um, Marshall Marshall Falk, although Marshall Falk came from the AFC, but he got his niche in the NFC. That Marshall Falk. You have Garrison Hurst. You have Ricky Waters. I mean, he can go on and on and on. And I dare I say Tiki Barber, although he did say something stupid a minute ago. That's something different. Um, but these running backs, these East Coast running backs, man, are phenomenal. They carry you. You know what I'm saying? Um, Even the Ravens' old corner, Jamal Lewis. Oof, Jamal Lewis was a beast. But he's not NFC. He's AFC, but he still was a beast. But as it relates to NFC East, the East running backs, it's not comparable. And I know everybody's going to talk about Juice. They're going to talk about, a whole lot of them. I mean, Damian Thomason, he's okay. Damian Thomason can stretch the football field as well. But running backs, I'm looking for East Coast running backs. But I'm still on Trey Benson. That's my guy. That's my guy. And hopefully the Cowboys are going to go after our guy, him, Trey Benson. That's who the Cowboys have to have on their radar. The reason why they haven't pulled the plug to get a running back. They have to be looking at Trey Benson. Trey Benson is a running back hybrid who reminds you of DeMarco Murray and Ricky Williams. That's who he reminds me of. The guy is stud. He's a stellar. And the Dallas Cowboys have to be looking at getting him as their running back in the future to go along with Dak Prescott. Now, I mentioned Dak Prescott because we have to find out exactly whether or not Dak Prescott is going to restructure, or is Dak Prescott going to not be signed, extended this year. And the Dallas Cowboys season hinges on Dak Prescott's contract. Now, me personally, when talks begin, and I'm looking at probably around the 28th of this month talks are going to begin with the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott's agent. And I am convinced that it will be a favorable decision for everybody. That we can get some pieces in here to really make a huge push towards the season. Now, I will say this: the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of work to do because we have 16 players that's hit the free agent, and 3 of the 16 have already signed. And so I do know that more than likely we're going to lose Javon Curse. We're going to lose him. And as I've said, we don't want to lose Big Hank, and we do not want to lose Stephon Gilmore. Don't want to lose them too. And the Dallas Cowboys are definitely going to make a splash in the draft some kind of way. That's the only other area that they can explore to make said splash, to get heads turning, is the draft. And they always do it for the most part. Will is very, very good in the draft. Will is very, very, yeah. That right there, that right there, yes. Will is definitely always good in the draft. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. So that's what I believe they're going to do. I believe the Cowboys have always overlooked free agency. It's not where they're going to build their team. That's not how they're going to build their team. They're going to build it in the draft. So Trey Benson is my guy. That's who I'm looking for. The Cowboys to go after him. Hey, listen, man. I'm making sense. Roadstar Sports. I appreciate you guys, man. Subscribe to the channel by all means. Like the content. I'm coming back in a little while to talk with you again about this Dak Prescott situation, and also who I think that's going to be a steal other than Trey Benson in this draft. I'm telling you. Let's just keep in mind, you got a cousin that's here. Forget that. How about them Cowboys? Oh, yeah. Have a wonderful day, great people. Enjoy. Dallas Cowboy Nation. Best.